Don't forget to subscribe to Panda Outdoors. Do it now.
Okay folks, welcome to Panda Outdoors and 4x4s. On this episode, what I'm going to talk over is on my UK preparedness. It's just a little video on how to check your levels on your vehicle, what things you need to check for. Especially now the colder months are coming in, you need to check on these things. So instead of having to take it to a garage or anything like that, if you look in your handbook or even have a quick Google of the places you've got to check for your vehicle, but pretty much they're all labelled the same on every vehicle. Some you might have to remove a cover to check them, but it is just a plastic cover that you then pop off. On the vehicle I'm going to show you over, it's my Land Rover Discovery 3 that I'm going to be turning into a camper, an off-road camper van, or camping vehicle, whatever way you want to call it, car camping setup. So what you want to check is you want to check your oil levels. You need to check them regular. If you don't check your oil levels, especially now with most modern cars, they have a drip tray underneath that catches any drips of oil. Really good. It stops your sidewalk or your pavement or your front garden area, your pavement on your front garden, getting oil stains on it. But what it does stop as well is you being able to detect or see any visual signs of oil leaving your vehicle. So you really do need to check for your oil, maybe not every week, every month maybe, or especially when you're going on a long journey. Check your oil. Then what else you want to check is your water level, because if your water level gets low, this can cause other problems with your vehicle. As well, checking your power steering fluid and your brake fluid. Okay, just give them a quick little check over and make sure they're all okay. Also as well, check your screen wash on your vehicle and top it up. Don't use fairy liquid or washing up soap or anything like that. Either use water. The only trouble with water is it will freeze in the winter. It's fine in the summer. Or use proper screen wash to check your waters. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it over to the vehicle and I'm just going to show you where to check. On mine, it's a Land Rover Discovery 3. You could have a Fiesta, a Corsa, anything like that, a Volkswagen Passat. But pretty much you're checking the same things, your levels and your fluids. Okay, so I hope this video is helpful. I'm going to bring it over now. We'll pop the bonnet open and we'll have a look at how to check the levels on your vehicle. Okay, so first what you want to do is open the bonnet of the vehicle so you can have a look. So have a quick inspection. On this vehicle, I will bring it over in a second. There is a lot of plastic covers, like on most newer vehicles, which is not a problem. You just need to locate things. Most things that you're going to be looking for will have a yellow lid on it. Okay, so there'll be yellow on the lid and stuff like that. On a Land Rover, most vehicles are the same. They will have a yellow or a different colour lid, so you can check them. Okay, the screen wash won't necessarily have a yellow lid because it's not as crucial to check as your other fluids. So once you've located your dipstick and stuff like that, then go on to check them. What you'll need for this is ideally just a small handheld torch for when you're checking your fluids and some sort of rag for checking your oil. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put you on a smaller tripod, put you on the bonnet, and then I'm going to show you what you've got to check for. Okay, so I've just flipped the camera now over to being handheld. So this is what I was saying. So if you see there, this is the oil filler cap. So it's marked up with yellow. Your dipstick is marked up with yellow. On certain newer cars, they might not have a dipstick. You might have to check it via your dashboard. Not the utmost. I don't trust it really. If there's a fault with the sensor, you're knackered basically. But that's how you do it on some newer cars. So the dipstick's yellow. Then we've got our power steering fluid, which is yellow. Water, as you can see, this has a yellow ring around it. And then on this case, your screen wash is blue. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're just going to check the oil. So what I'll do is I'll stand the tripod up and I'll just show you how to do it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm removing the dipstick from the vehicle and then I'm just going to wipe the dipstick, okay? So I'm going to take off any excess oil off the dipstick, okay? And this is where you want it to be. So this is the maximum line, this is the minimum line. So realistically, anything from halfway to max is where you want to be. If it goes over that, you've overfilled your vehicle and you want to get it drained off, otherwise you can do some seals or anything like that. So you want it between halfway and the maximum line. Anything under that, you could do damage to your vehicle. Okay, so again, pop the dipstick back in to the hole, all the way down to the bottom, hold it there for a second, and then pull it back out, and then we're going to have a look. As you can see, this is on halfway, so this could do with a little bit of oil. So this could do with a little bit of a top up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give this a top up before I leave today. So we'll put a little bit more oil in that and then recheck it, and then we're good to go. Okay, so what we're going to do is remove the cap, and then just top it up with a little bit of oil. So I'm just going to go over it and get a little bit of oil and top it up. Okay, so this is just a litre of oil. I'm just going to pop it in. And then, okay, so I'm going to give that a little second to just work its way down. And again, dipstick back in. And dipstick back in, give it a second, and then pop it out. And then here we go. We are good to go. We are now near enough onto the max. Okay, so that oil now is perfect. So just shows you, always check your oil. Okay, so oil all checked. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go over and we're going to check the water and stuff like that. So okay, so as you can see, we've got, on this case, they're all together. On other vehicles, they could be spread out, so you just need to have a look. So for this instance, we're going to get a little torch. Going to get our torch, and then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to place the torch on it, and you can see the level. But through the camera, as you can see, the level is okay. So on the side of it, if you can see, I'll bring you around. If you can see, just there, it will say on the side of the bottle somewhere a min and max level. So at the moment, mine is fine. It is just underneath the maximum level, so I know that is fine. Okay, when you're topping up your water in your engine, make sure the engine's cool before you undo the cap. If you take the cap off and the engine's hot, it will expand as soon as the cold air hits it, and it'll explode and it can scald you. Don't forget the engine is running extremely hot. Okay, so always when you're topping your fluids up, make sure the engine is cooled down. Okay, then all I'm going to do, check my power steering fluid. I'm just going to put that in, the torch in, and have a little look where it is. And I can see just by wiggling the torch, you probably can't see on camera, but if you wiggle the torch, you can see the liquid moving. Again, this is in between the min and the max, so I'm perfectly fine with that. On the screen wash, all you do is top it up, okay? There's no way of checking it really, because you can't see the tank for it. Just top it up until it's filled to the brim, and that is how you check your water for your screen wash. Okay folks, so that's just a little video on, especially in the prepping side of things, just simple maintenance you can do for your car. Okay, so everybody should know how to do it. All cars are slightly different, but they're basically the same. On your driving test, you should have done a thing called show me, tell me, where the driving instructor points to things. Well, that's just showing you what you should look for. It's easy for you to go on your driving test. It's there, but if you're not knowing what you're checking for, it's a waste of time. So that is just a quick one on, basically, one, it'll save you money. You don't have to go to the garage and get a mechanic to check up for you. And two, it's good when you're going on long journeys that you can check your vehicle over before you leave. anyone who watches my videos who are into your four-wheel driving, your off-roading, your green laning, you should pretty much know this anyway. But for anyone who watches for the prepping or just watches me because I'm a divvy, that's a quite handy little video on vehicle maintenance you can do yourself. Just giving your vehicle quick checks over to make sure everything's running fine. Especially if you've got older vehicles, they need a little bit more love. As you've seen, I needed to put a little bit of oil in the old girl to make sure she's okay. And you've seen a few other maintenance bits on this. I'm going to do a video as well. One of the next video to this will probably be me changing a set of brake pads. Most vehicles are pretty much similar. It's going to be obviously on my Discovery 3, but a Ford Focus and stuff like that, they're pretty much the same setup, okay? There'll be slightly different bolts, but the setup on most vehicles are very similar. Again, learn to change the brakes on your vehicle. It's not a hard job to do, but it's quite an expensive job. You could go and get yourself a set of brakes and do it yourself with some basic hand tools. This is my prepping in the UK vehicle level fluid checks. I hope this has been helpful. I've been Panda. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care now and stay prepared.